all hometown even is just you opening up. I mean, there's literally like you could sum up probably most of them in that is that you get along with the person's family and that the person opens up and says they're falling in love with you. Like that's literally the formula to hometown.
Formula
Like,
for hometown.
Just have your family like the person and
you could teach a class on this.
tell them you're falling in love and boom, you'll make it to finals.
Welcome back to A Fine Podcast with your host, Amanda, and...
Yeah, Joseph. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Joseph. Woo! Hello.
Yeah. Join us for another episode.
Yeah, we're so excited to be back. It feels like we just did our last episode.
Because we did.
We did, but we are caught up, and we are super excited to talk about Joan and the men and the Golden Bachelorette episode
6.
Hometown visits. So exciting.
Yes, this is where the Bachelorette goes to the houses of the suitors and meets their families and decides if she is a fit for them, just as they are a fit for her.
That's right. So we get to see a little bit about who these men are and who the people are that care for them so much.
Yeah, and if they're actually who they say they are.
Or if they're frauds.
Yes.
But we were really looking forward to this episode, and it did not disappoint. So we're excited to talk about it.
Yeah, it was decent.
Whoa, give us some more of your hot take on that.
Yeah, I mean, it opened up some feelings. I would say I have a little more respect for Chuck now.
Chuck or chalk?
Chalk.
Chalk.
Like a chalk
Yes.
block. Meaning that you would put behind a car wheel to prevent it from falling on you while doing maintenance. But
Thank you for that. I didn't know what that was.
yes, in case you weren't aware of what it was. But
I really didn't know.
but yeah, I mean he was nice. We saw a little. I mean, well, I don't want to give too much away. We'll get into it as we progress through the thing. But yeah, I'd say that's kind of my biggest take from it.
It's so nice to see your opinion mold of who Chalk is and just how pivotal of a role he is playing.
I mean, do I think he's still number one? No, I think I'm still leaning towards Pascal.
Oh, we're gonna get to predictions at the end of the episode. But yes, wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe that hasn't changed. I can't wait to talk to you about that.
Yeah, you'll find out as we
as we
embark.
go on and talk about this.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for making me this nice tea.
Yes, it's raspberry tea.
It's delicious.
It's pretty good. Then I'll have some herbal slumber tea after this.
I think I like it better than the slumber tea.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like this one better overall, but it doesn't give me the slumber effects. I mean, not that it bothers me. I fall asleep in 2 seconds anyway, so.
Yeah. Let's talk about how easy it is for some people to go to sleep and others to lie awake for hours.
Yeah.
Okay, pop quiz. How long does it take you to fall asleep?
Usually less than a minute.
Less than a minute. Who can relate? Who can relate? Anybody?
I mean, my father can.
Wow.
He used to do that. And I was like, wow, I wish I could do that. And
So how long did it take you to develop that skill?
my later teens, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you just ever since?
Yeah, but for me, that was just because I knew I had to exert enough energy for the day. If I was struggling to fall asleep, he'd always tell me that I did not exert enough energy and I needed to exert more. And
Wow.
he was right.
I'm
And
glad that works.
The
for you
occasion
guys.
nights I do have the struggles, I know that it's because of that. And then I
Wow.
make sure to correct that the following day, and it corrects itself.
Such as working out.
Yes.
And meanwhile, I could work out all day, but then still stay awake at night.
Yeah, you have some other condition going on.
Condition. Yes. But I don't know. It hasn't been as hard as some other pastimes have been. So
Well, that's good.
maybe the tea is helping.
We just started this last night.
Yeah,
so
we actually just started last night.
I
We were
mean-
acting like we did it forever, but
Yeah.
we just started this.
Will it be a
So-
continuing? I don't know, but it's at least a trend
Of 2
temporarily
days.
in this house.
We have a lot of tea, and then we go into different phases where we have it more often than
Yeah.
not. So here we go. We have our tea, and we're ready to spill the tea about all of our thoughts. So diving right in, Joan is at the airport, and she's flying out of LAX, and she is off to see her first guy, which is Guy.
Yes, no other than Guy himself, the guy, the one and
The
only.
One and only Guy. So there's a little interview of Joan, and she says she's not at the love phase yet with anybody, but she's getting there and hoping to move in that direction this week with someone.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting down to the wire here, so she's got to be leaning towards somebody or trying to get ready to make a decision for someone. So she needs to figure that out.
I think
Hopefully
she feels
this
the
will
pressure.
help.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming down.
So she is headed off to Lake Tahoe, Nevada to meet Guy. And I have to say, it's absolutely beautiful there where she saw Guy on the water.
Yeah, well, I guess Tahoe actually leads into Nevada. I thought it was only in California, but I guess it does lead into Nevada.
Is there a Lake Tahoe, Nevada? He was on Lake Tahoe in Nevada, right?
Well, yeah, I think it.
It goes down that
Right.
far.
Because Nevada's next to California, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just
Connected.
in the between the two. Yeah.
But I thought it looked stunning out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It looked very gorgeous.
So Guy takes Joan on a boat for their date. And this time it's a boat, not a yacht. Like
Yeah.
last time.
Well, probably 'cause it's his boat.
It's his boat. He's driving. That's right. And Guy says that this place is very special to him and this is where he likes to go with his kids. So it holds a lot of memories for him. And that's why he wanted to take Joan here. And also later on in the date, he lets Joan drive.
Yeah, which is a pretty risky move.
He must really trust her.
Well, I mean, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
he
you can get your
was there.
boating license online. You don't even have to take a course, like a physical course for it, or a in present course.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's not that. I don't have mine, but it's not that hard to get.
You might as
though.
well.
I should. It's my imaginary boat that I'll have, but yeah. I mean, so it's really not. It's not like they're in the middle of the open water, so.
So Guy says that he guards his heart to not get hurt. But he said the prize at the end is worth the risk. So now he's opening up more to Joan.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Once again, we're constantly badgering this whole point of I gotta guard my heart and I'm scared to let it break or.
Which I guess that's how really everybody's feeling at this current point in time.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, come on, just go for it. I don't know.
No sympathy from you. You're
I don't know. Every single one of them were like, I'm protective. I've been hurt before.
Well, I was kind of shocked that Chalk got into that. I was like, not him too. Like now he's pulling this like, oh, I'm kind of acting a little reserved.
He's always been like that.
He said, I am now acting reserved.
I mean, he mentioned
bunch.
that in the first date. He was like, I'm generally a reserved guy, but I know probably that she wants me to be fun and outgoing. And
I don't know. I was just shocked to see him like this
I
at this
guess,
point.
yeah.
Because then I thought he got like way more confident with everything. Then I didn't see that again. And then I guess now it's like coming up again.
I guess, yeah, compared to last episode, he's kind of
He seemed less confident.
super confident.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess he's a little more open this time with it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, just jump in and go for it. I mean, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I mean,
It's true. I mean,
then
it really will hurt though if it doesn't work out.
yeah,
If you're gonna put like 100% of yourself in it just to
yeah.
fail,
But
which
I mean,
is
you pick up the pieces and move on.
yeah.
I mean,
But I think they're
I don't
bracing
know.
up for that.
Yeah, I don't. I guess I've never related to
You've
that.
never been
that.
on the Bachelor franchise.
No, but the whole being scared of I might get hurt. I
Oh,
can't back down.
yeah.
I don't know. It's
Just
me, but
take the risk. I'm the same way too. It's just
yeah,
take the risk
right.
because you know this is going to be a great thing
Yeah,
if it does
doesn't-
work out.
Yeah, if it doesn't, then you had the time while it lasted. So
Wow, that's really nice.
I don't know. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that's true.
It's like the most common thing in this show.
Blasted franchise.
Yeah. I'll say bloody, but I don't know if that's this bloody show. But but it's just, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just like the constant theme with every person in this.
It
thing.
is.
I just yeah.
So
Anyway.
we'll hear that again and again as we hear about the other dates.
Correct. Yes.
So this is where Joan opens up a little bit about John to Guy when they're sitting at the table right before they go to meet the family. She says that she thinks of John's memory when she feels something for someone else because now she's starting to have feelings for Guy. And she said she finds John's memory hard to let go. And then Guy says, "Oh, well, I'm not here to replace John." And she goes, I know you're not here to replace John.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just him just trying to give that reassurance and
Which was nice. I thought that was really nice.
yeah.
So Guy says it feels real with Joan, and he encourages her to take all the time that she needs. And then they share a quick kiss. And then it's time to go see Guy's family. And we have Guy's sisters, brothers, kids. And let's just talk about this family and their love of names that start with G.
Yeah. Clearly their father and mother were loving the G train.
Loving the G train. We have Greer, Glenn, Gary, Greg, Gail.
Well, and for I mean, just to clarify as well, Glenn was Guy's son, but Greer, Gail, Gary, and Greg are all, I believe, siblings. Greg's the only one I don't know, but I know for sure all the other ones are siblings. So it seems like the entire children line were all G's.
Yeah.
So.
And then Guy wanted to continue the tradition with one of his.
Yeah, but then the other two are like Mackenzie and Hank. So
Yeah.
don't know where those came from.
And then his grandson isn't starting with a G either.
Yeah.
But they all sit and they talk with Joan on the couch, and Joan mentions Charles, which I thought was funny because they're talking about memories at the mansion. And I was like, yes, Charles is mentioned again.
Yeah,
what a sweet guy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that was a pretty big moment for Charles and Guy.
Yeah.
But I guess it too was trying to almost show like the testament to Guy's character, even though it was just answering a medical question. So I don't really know how.
Well, that's true. He goes, I finally provided some relief for him. After all these years, he didn't know why this medical thing happened with his wife, and I was finally able to talk to him about it. And then it cuts to like a clip of Guy's sister, and she's tearing up and hearing the story.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was really sweet. They brought Charles back up.
Yeah.
So Guy's sister is all about this relationship. She loves seeing her brother happy. And she said that she lost her husband. He passed away. And when he passed away, Guy was there to help her pick up the pieces and was really supportive of her. And that was something that Joan related to as well when they were talking to Joan about Guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think it showed that he is quite the person. He to step in with help her out and help the children out, and so yeah. I mean, I think it showed a lot to new things for Joan to consider at this event, and yeah, it was pretty insightful for, I think, her to see the rest of his family.
Guy talks with his daughter Mackenzie, and she's happy that he's putting himself out there. And Guy says that his kids have become kind of parental with him, so the roles have kind of reversed a little bit, which I thought was nice because I kind of saw how I turned into that for my dad a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's like a compliment because when your kids start turning like parental on you, it's because of all the things that you taught them. So it's just interesting. That was an interesting remark.
Yeah, I mean, at least seeing that if they're kind of trying to
Help him,
do
give
the
him
same
advice.
advice that you gave, that's nice at least to see them learning from you. So
Yep. And so Guy's two sons talk with Joan, and they say that he's closing one chapter now and opening up a new one, and says that she fits right in, but they're worried he might get heartbroken over this whole thing, which is a valid fear.
yeah, I mean, going back to this, I mean, I get it in some situations. I mean, well, not some, but I mean, I can.
Could you imagine being their kids and then seeing your dad so invested in something and knowing that there's 3 other people?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird situation to be in. And I mean, I can get it too, but at least the nervousness of him, because, you know, he talked about how, you know, his previous wife he had 25 years with, and then all of a sudden it ended.
This is the most terrible situation. Explain what happened.
Well, I mean, obviously there's 2 sides of the story, but I mean, you know, we get his where it's after the kids left, it seemed like their marriage just fizzled out, and then she was just bored and left. So,
But I think that's also why the kids are like so protective of him too.
right, yeah, because I guess, which I would say it does seem like, I guess it's in his favor that they seem more closely. I mean, we don't know, but it seems like they're more closely bonded to him after things. So, but yeah, I mean, it's nice to at least see they have a close connection, and
For sure.
but yeah, he's got this nervousness of kind of hinting up because I could get it, right. I mean, after 25 years, and then this person, you know, you thought you've loved forever, and
It would take a
has
long
now
time
just
to deal with that. And he had to be terribly heartbroken over the whole thing. And
yeah. So there's all this self doubt and lack of confidence in himself, and so he's
hard.
seeing that kind of resurface in himself, and we see that with that moment he shared with his one sister, or both of them, I can't remember, but yeah, he
they
said,
all
you know,
just are dying for his happiness. They say after the terrible situation he's been through, we just want the best for him. We just want to see him happy. They all just care so much about him.
yeah.
So his sisters say that they would love to have Joan in the family. Guy says he's fallen for Joan at this point. He said never in a million years did he think he would be able to say this, but he can love again. And he's tearing up. So I think that date brought them closer together, and meeting Guy's family brought them closer as well.
Well, and he did the things that Joan was looking for in this, which was he was opening up and
Committing himself.
he mentioned he was falling for her, so, and that's what she's wanting to hear at this point in the stage. So
Yeah. And she said she feels way closer to Guy after today, and the relationship is better than ever, and she had the perfect day. So that went really well.
yeah.
Guy's town. But let's head into one of our favorite characters, Pascal, and his hometown
Yes.
of Chicago, Illinois. And so Pascal, we see him at the coffee shop, and it seems like the people know him there, and they put the coffees that he's getting for him and Joan on his account that he already has open there, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, they painted out. I mean, it's probably a local shop that he goes to quite often because
They're like, we'll put it on your
it's
house
like,
account.
yeah, get me the usual. So
Which that's pretty cool to be on that level with your coffee shop.
yeah. Also, he's quite well off. So
Yeah.
he's,
That's true.
he's in a special boat there. So,
Yes.
but I mean, at the same time too, though, he is a local business owner as well. So I mean, he also has to make connections with other businesses. So
Yeah. But might as well make a connection that you can enjoy every day.
yeah, have a free house tub. Well, not free house tub.
Free. So here is where Joan starts to make comparisons to John, her husband. She says that John used to make everything big and epic just like Pascal does. So he reminds her of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of similarities in the two, and I think Joan correlates him a lot to John. And
Which I think you could really see the chemistry between Joan and Pascal in this date. I thought more than usual. She's like drawn to him. She's really connected to him.
yeah, well, I mean, this is why I've always been for him, because I think there is a bond there that's, at least their connection is quite strong. It hasn't necessarily been the most visible. I mean, you saw it, but you saw it with their one-on-one when they went to Vegas and did everything.
It's easy to see when they're one-on-one, and then not so easy to see when they're on group dates or any other time.
Yeah, but that's just because he's reserved and that he's not going to play the competition of
Right.
fighting over everyone to gain the attention.
So he's super excited to show Joan his salon, Pascal's salon.
Yeah, well, I think this was even a smart move to not even just do like a fun date or something, because one, it gets them more antiquated with what their lifestyle is actually going to be together, like more envisioning how things are going to look on a daily basis.
Yep.
Now, at the end of the day, I mean, going back to Gary's issue, I don't know how. I mean, she's going to have to move to Chicago. It'd
Right.
be impossible for him to
Pascal's
leave.
not leaving.
Business, so is she going to do
What
that?
is she going to do?
I mean, yeah.
That's so far away.
Yeah. I mean,
did they just set up the show to fail then? You make a great connection with somebody and then they live. How long of a flight would that even be?
It's not that long.
I mean, still, you'd have to take a flight. A drive isn't even feasible.
Oh, it's feasible, but
not every week.
Oh, well, yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how. I mean, she would have to. But anyway, getting off sidetrack. But no, I think this was really because I think seeing the job was very, really
telling of
pictured
him.
That for her. So I think that was like a pretty smart move on his part.
Sure, like come see Every Day with Pascal and come see my life. And I mean, he seems like a wonderful person. Like everybody seems like they really love him. They love working with him, being around him. Like it was a great environment, great employee morale.
Yeah, well, and she gets to just sweep in there whenever she wants and get a free manicure or whatever.
Yeah, what was this? It was like, we're going to put you in the top package deal that we give out. And she got a glass of champagne. She had like a hand massage going.
Well, she was just getting their VIP package,
which is
just
so
like
cool.
A pampering thing. Yes, but yeah, she could get that all the time if.
Yeah. Are you saying that's a great reason for her to pick Pascal?
Yeah. Not for him. Just the sweet perks.
I want that VIP salon package every time.
Yeah.
The sweet perks. But I just thought it was really nice how excited he was to show her his business, his employees, his children, his town. He was just very proud about everything that he had to offer.
Yeah. And I mean the family part of it went really well. The kids loved her. I like how he had the friends come as well. But
wait. wait, we gotta continue on with the salon though. He goes into the salon and he goes, "My people," and they all greet him,
Yeah.
which is really nice. He says he loves his people, and in the mansion, Joan mentions he had so many friends there, so she's not surprised at all to see like what it's like in his salon with all the employees. It's just like a giant, big, friendly gathering. I mean, the way everybody was circled around Pascal in the mansion, which I thought was a good parallel because he was quite the popular person.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely have to be gregarious and outgoing in that
He's just a fun person.
field.
Yeah.
So.
I like that he said he's in the feel good business. He's in the business of making people feel good in his salon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's definitely done well with it, so he understands his audience and what he's marketing for, and
Yeah.
he's done a good job.
He says we do a lot of hard work, but we have a lot of fun in the process.
Yeah.
And Joan commented that she loves the positive energy in the salon. So that was nice. Okay, so before they go in to meet Pascal's family and friends, Pascal admits that he has had his heart broken many times. So when he asks for time and when he seems guarded, it's just because of this. So he's kind of opening up about maybe why he's a little bit reserved.
Yeah, and they kind of had a talking head where he was talking about this. You know, the salon was all fun and dandy, but he's got to get to the serious stuff now. And yeah, so once again he's guarded and nervous to have his heart broken. So
Yes, he is.
But I mean, at least he comes out and kind of mentions it to her, and I mean, he lays it out, at least lays everything out on the table. I don't think that's what she wanted to hear.
Well, Joan says, sometimes I thought maybe you didn't like me as much because you're standing in the back on the group dates, and sometimes you're just more reserved. So she's like, I just want to make sure you like me.
Yeah, and she brought that up like a couple episodes ago as well too. I don't know why she keeps bringing that up, but
And Pascal says, yes, he does like her. He really wants to have a companion. His daughter signed him up for this show, and it took him a little while to get used to everything. And now he is.
yeah, I mean,
Joan also admits that she feels a little similar to Pascal. She's guarded too.
yeah, that's yeah, which this is annoying because she mentions she's like that, but then she's looking for
Someone who's not like
them
that.
who have to say it, even though they're like in the same situation.
That is kind of weird.
And she's required.
But she goes back and forth on this. It's like she's guarded. Oh, she's ready. It's fine. Oh, I'm guarded. I don't know. I think there's always going to be that.
Yeah, but it's like if she mentions, sometimes I wonder if I'm even ready for this yet or something. It's like the other guys. I mean, Mark said that, and then he got axed. So I mean, it's like that's a death wish to say that.
Yeah, but then she always relates to the person saying that. Like with Mark, she's like, yes, yes.
Yeah, and then it turns out, well, I don't think you're ready for me then, because you're thinking about this, even though I've said myself that I don't feel like I'm ready for it. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand so it's like and he kind of was saying that a little bit. And I was like, oh, you doofus, like you're gonna screw your shot up here because that's gonna get you axed. But I mean, I don't know. At least he's straightforward where they are, but. So, I mean, it's not exactly what you want to hear, but I think
he's honest.
The envisioning of kind of what their life would look like, I think, really helped her navigate things. So I think she's willing to give him more time to come forth with things, a sense of that. Now, skipping ahead a little bit, I think if he just opens up, then it's game over. He's got it in the bag. That's all he has to do. Because I do think
you think she has
he's
the
deepest? Yeah. Yeah, there's the thing with Chalk, but I think if he were to just open up, it'd be game over. He'd totally win in the bag.
Because that's the only flaw that he has at this time is the just having a little bit of a wall still up.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to use that as an excuse in the end if he doesn't break it down.
Well, yeah, if he doesn't by the end, then yeah, he won't win. But I mean, that's all he has to do to win. So I think it's because I think she sees he's basically like John 2.0. I mean, in her
Yeah,
eyes.
which is this a good thing? He reminds her so much of her
Oh yeah, I
husband. I
mean
mean,
that's what
yeah, it's a good thing, but then also you don't want to find like the exact replica of your husband because I mean he's not going to be an exact replica, but
Yeah, but
still, I don't
well,
know
yeah, but those are the equalities.
that she
She's
looks
gonna want
for.
something very similar to that. So yeah, he's got his own little flair to him that makes him different.
Yeah.
But most of the stuff you're gonna want, the main qualities you're gonna want, are the same things. So
All right. So next we see Pascal bringing Joan to his home in his fancy convertible.
yeah, well, specifically his DB11. So yeah, it's a nice ride.
Very nice
Aston
car.
Martin,
Wow.
the James Bond car. Very new version of it, but, but yes, the same model, just 50 years newer.
Wow. It looked very fun to ride in.
Yeah, it's a nice ride.
So at his house, we meet his daughters, his son, his grandson, his friends, and they ask Joan what her first impression was of Pascal. And she goes, "Oh, I don't want to say it." And then she's like, "I thought he was sexy."
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of straightforward with him.
And the kids seem to like the straightforward answer.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she was trying to be conservative with.
But then they were like, "Oh, no, we like that answer."
Yeah, I mean, they enjoyed them walking into the room, and I think they instantly kind of enjoyed her. So yeah, they all took a liking.
They did. His daughter said that they looked like they really liked each other and they looked good together. So she approved in that moment. And first we see Joan talking with Pascal's son, who does look a lot like Pascal.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think this was like the sweetest interaction of kids. Like you could see how much they really love their father. Because his son calls him his idol to Joan, which was like really nice. I thought it was interesting their conversation they had because Joan asks him, "Has your dad had a lot of girlfriends before?" And like he's not gonna lie about it. He's like, "Yes." He has had a lot of girlfriends.
Yeah, I mean, he's smart enough to know there's no point in
Lying.
not saying that. So,
But he said, all that aside, his dad is looking for the one now. So.
right, he's tired of it. He's ready to find someone he can settle down with and have a marriage with. So, yeah.
Yes, so they have a nice conversation because he says he's ready to meet the one and he hopes it's Joan, which means he approves of her. And then there's a scene between Pascal and his son together, just the two of them. And Pascal tells his son that he read Joan a card. I believe they wrote it to him for Father's Day in the mansion, but he read it out to Joan. And then this is where you see Pascal show a lot of emotion, which was really touching because he started crying and he said to his son, like, that really made me think like, wow, I was a good father and, you wrote such nice things about me, when it was really touching when I was reading it out loud to her. And then his son was like tearing up. And then in an interview, his son said, "That's the first time I've ever seen my father cry before in front of me."
Yeah.
Which that was incredibly touching.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see a lot into Pascal here. I think, looking at him, a quick outward look of him is he's maybe just a fun, materialistic guy. But you kind of see he's got a lot more depth to him. So, and that he's got a good connection with his family, and his children really respect him, and yeah, so you see a lot of nice qualities in him.
All right, so Joan and his daughter are talking, and she says that Joan would be a good fit. And Joan says her biggest fear is that she thinks she might pick him and he would not pick her too after that. And then his daughter said she truly doesn't think that he would not pick her.
Yeah, which was, I think, a good response because we see Joan ask this with, which is kind of interesting, the two people I think she knew were kind of being a little more reserved about things, which was kind of an interesting question to probe the family about. But yeah, I think she answered it properly to help solidify Pascal's ability to move on to the next round. So
I think so too. And his daughter says that Joan already feels like family. And Joan says she could see her life here and that she loves everybody in this family. And then we see Pascal talking to his daughter, and she starts crying and she says that she wants him to have his forever person, which was really touching.
yeah, another nice connection with his child. So
Beautiful connection with his children.
yeah.
So he's really close to his kids and his family, and that was nice to see. And he says that he still has his wall up a little bit, but it's nice to start feeling vulnerable. And Pascal says he's looking forward to his next chapter. And Joan says that she has feelings for him, but she is still a little scared of those walls being up, or at least one wall up.
Yeah. She's a little hesitant to, even though she's got her own up that she admits, but
It's not fair, is it? Something I thought was interesting is Pascal didn't say I'm falling for you. Anything about love.
well,
There's-
because that's
it
what he's
didn't end.
being defensive about. But that's what she wants these people to say at this point, which I think is a little crazy to admit. But so I mean, I agree where Pascal is with things, but
I think they could definitely form a relationship out of this competition, but I feel like the warp speed of the competition may be hurting it a little bit.
well, yes, but I think almost that could happen with every or most of the guys down there. Like I bet, well, maybe not Keith, but the last 7, I guess 6 of them. If you had
I
normal
think Keith could have
time-
had an infinity with her and it still would have been pretty bad.
Yeah, his, but I think like Jonathan or Mark,
Yeah,
they
that's
could have
true.
totally, if they weren't in a rushing game show, yeah, they could totally have something. So, but that's some of the aspect of this game is, do you want to throw it all out there instantaneously?
So this is how the date ends, and then we go into Jordan's town, which is the same town as Pascal.
Yeah, so she does not have to fly anywhere and just
She just
Oh.
walks down the street.
maybe they like run into each other.
That'd be so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we have Jordan, who's also in Chicago, and he takes her out, and his idea of a fun date is going around. Food is what he labels it as, so he goes to his favorite deep dish pizzeria. I'm assuming, obviously, it's what it was, Chicago
deep
style.
dish, yeah.
And
He says, I'm an eater.
yeah, she's like, oh, I eat too. But I don't know. I feel like it could have been something a little more exciting.
It's like, let's just go sit down at this pizza place.
Well, I think they do, because you do see afterward they're walking back to
Guy
his
has like a
place and-
boat. Pascal has a convertible, and Jordan just goes to sit at deep dish pizza, which can be fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd almost say it's like a dangerous card to play, because yeah, it could play well in your favor if you have a connection where it's like we don't even have to do something crazy. We can do something simple like
Yeah,
this
just
and
as
have
long as
have
we're
a great
together.
time. Yeah.
But it really didn't work out with it being the man that she had the least amount of connection with.
yeah, but I don't even think.
But also, I feel like those things that they do, the grandiose things, are like not realistic too, and that doesn't give you a sense for who the person is. So really, who cares about the grandiose?
Well, yeah,
gestures?
the activity really didn't matter. I mean, all hometown even is just you opening up. I mean, there's literally like you could sum up probably most of them in that is that you get along with the person's family and that the person opens up and says they're falling in love with you. Like that's literally the formula at a hometown.
Formula
Like
for hometown.
just have your family like the person
you
and
could teach a class on this.
tell them you're falling in love and boom, you'll make it to finals. I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, sure. Like, could I try to go on this and totally just game the system? Yeah, maybe, but
And some people certainly have before.
yeah, because I mean, it's the same formula for 30 seasons or whatever, however many they
You
have.
should teach a mathematics class on this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The formula, the secret formula. So let's just say that there's no connection between the two of them at all. And this was definitely shown throughout their time together. I thought it was funny that they took a shot together, though. Like, as friends. The whole thing seems to be like friend vibe.
Yeah, well, I guess especially because real quick, the formula is love squared. The love of your family and the love of the person you're wanting. That's the formula to hometown. But
Falling in love. Love.
it's just
family.
love squared. But yeah, I mean, Joan does mention that
Squared.
she's been to Chicago before too. So I don't know. It's almost like he's trying to show her. Oh, also he's like, you're officially a Chicagoan or whatever with his, even though
She's like, I've been here before, though. Yeah.
right. Well, and even too, I don't know in the order of who was shot first, but if it is based on how they
Pascal.
did, it's like Pascal already had the
The
date,
lead.
but
Yeah.
so, but yeah, I mean, she's already been here, but so I don't know, like, I mean, trying to do stuff that like you do normally if it was like someone's first time visiting Chicago or something. I don't know. In the end, did it really make a big deal? No, because I think it literally all boiled down to the family and him actually opening up about his feelings. But yeah, sure, I guess things. I mean, he wasn't, I don't think, very intimate with her or had like a very romantic.
No, they didn't
Day.
share like a shared.
So
I mean, they didn't share like a piece of pizza together.
well, they did the cake together, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's
They
true.
did like the whole wedding thing almost. But I mean, that's all they showed. So
What'd you think about the shots they took?
yeah, I couldn't tell. It almost looked like Fireball at first, but I can't imagine it'd be that. It had to have been some sort of whiskey.
Yep.
But yes. Anyway.
So then we meet Jordan's family, Jordan's daughters, and his brothers. And Joan says she felt comfortable meeting the family. And the first thing they talk about is the giant fall that Jordan had when him and Joan went on that ice skating date together. And he can't ice skate. So thought that was funny.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty funny, and she did mention she was like laughing nonstop for she couldn't even like get herself together to for the next couple of minutes to continue on with the date.
She
but
like kept going on about it. She's like, it was like a cartoon character fall.
yeah,
Like his legs went all the way up to his head.
yeah.
And then Jordan said, "Oh yeah, I don't mind poking fun at me. My family loves to make fun of me all the time, or like poke fun at me all the time in conversations." So he said it's a natural pastime of the family to do that.
Yeah, which I don't know. That might there seems to be maybe some.
Which I could see that all in good fun because we used to like poke fun at my dad for some things, but not like where we're constantly talking and making fun of the person, but
I
like
was just saying, it almost seems like he's like
like
getting
he would
bullied by his
replay.
own
I know.
family at
Okay,
this
I don't think they meant it like that though.
point. Yeah, no. But I don't know. It was like all the time. It's like can never catch a break. We're just on him 24/7.
Well, it reminded me of like, when my dad used to get nervous ordering Taco Bell, and then we just like we'd record him and then we'd replay it. Ah, ha, ha, remember when he said this ordering Taco Bell? Like, I don't know. He would laugh too. It's with him, but it's just.
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah.
Maybe that's what he means. Not that his family's a bunch of bullies trying to gang up on him.
Well, he did mention they like to reminisce about past times, which is, kind of up the same alley.
But the way he said that really made you feel sad for him a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of poking fun at.
Jordan's making a lot of comments like, oh, this whole thing is a little bit rushed. And then Dan, his brother, says, well, when you know you met the right person, you just know. And then he has a story about how his wife and him have been married for over 30 years. And when they met, it only took them a couple months to get engaged and know that they were each other's person.
It was 38 years. Well, and he said they started dating July and got engaged in August. So it was 1 month.
Oh, not even a couple. 1 month.
I think pretty sure that's what he said. So yeah, and I think that was just trying to allude to that this competition is a very fast-moving thing, or it's expected to be fast-moving, but it still can work out even if it's quick and rushed.
Yeah, which more so highlights the non-connection that him and Joan have at this point. So next we see Jordan with his kids, and he says he is not at the point where he loves Joan or really wants to be engaged to her. He can't say it.
Yeah, I mean, he's
not there.
Honest to his child, and I mean, at least he's being honest. I mean, it'd be like if Joan were to go watch this back and be like, oh, well, glad I asked him what he did. But
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's just because he has to move slower with it, and it's just he doesn't want to move that fast, and I don't blame him for it. But
well, we know he doesn't like to move fast because we learn that it's been 10 years since he's been with his wife, and he hasn't gone on a date with anyone since.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Joan meets with Jordan's daughter and her partner, and they say that Jordan and his wife had a really tough divorce. It was 10 years ago, and he hasn't dated anyone since then, which they're ready for their dad to move on and find somebody, but I think he was still connected to that person and probably still in love. I don't know the whole story, but that must have been really hard.
Yeah.
For him to try to move on from that. But Joan says to them that she has 2 men that are open and ready to commit and 2 others that aren't open. So we take this to mean that Chalk and Guy are the 2 people that are open, and Jordan and Pascal are the ones that have walls built up around them.
Yeah, because we obviously knew Chalk had it, and now that we've seen Guy do it, and Pascal and Jordan have both hesitated, that yes.
Yes. So then she pulls the same card she pulled with Pascal's kids, and she says, I'm just worried your dad might not pick me. But the response was much worse here.
Yeah, the daughter really, I wonder too, I mean, they put in the order that he talked to them first, and I kind of wonder if that was the case. Because if it was, it almost like was the daughter's fault, because she was like, yeah, he totally would have picked you. Like,
she said something alluding to that, just like, oh, well, anything he does is just coming from a place of fear. And he's just had those big walls up since his divorce.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I mean, she really, I can't really say she sold him out, because, I mean, that's really how he felt. But
it's almost like she was trying to defend him, but it came out really bad. Like,
yeah, because she was like, oh, I don't think it would work out if you chose him. So
she didn't say that. She said that
was like basically what she said.
I mean, translated, yes, but she said he's fearful.
Yeah. Yeah, but once again, at the end of these shows, you're like pretty much expected to bend on one knee.
This was the comment that sold him down the river. It was, he's being too guarded and protective of himself. And she really hopes that he can get there eventually, which means he is totally not ready to to get there right now.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And the note I wrote here was Jordan looks like a goner at this point, just absolutely like toast, done, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, this family thing just like totally ruined. Well, it didn't ruin it. It just
Even the
pretty
date,
much confirmed
as
that.
friends, they're all chuckling and laughing as friends, and I mean, there's just no connection vibe going on. And then the date like nailed the coffin shut for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really. I mean, you like pretty much knew at this point because I mean, we obviously knew like Chalk was gonna. Highly doubt the thing was gonna go.
Right. What could Chalk do at this point? Just
right to totally flub the hometown. So,
it would be really
I mean,
rare that would happen.
Before even seeing Chalk's performance, you know that
he's going home.
He was gone.
There's no mystery in this at all.
Yeah.
And if Pascal went home instead of him, that would have been like a huge thing that didn't make any sense at all. So we all knew it was him for sure.
Yeah.
So then Joan comments, she goes, "Oh, well, a 10-year wall, that's a pretty big one." Like trying to be nice. And then Joan says to Jordan, "I just want to make sure like it's still worth trying with you." And he goes, "Yes, it is." And then Joan says, "I feel confused about this." And that's how that one ends. So
yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he was like totally. Maybe it's just because he was slow, but it almost did seem like. I don't know. Maybe it was the whole. I don't know if they mentioned if it was kids who tried to push him into this, but
yeah, I didn't really get a lot of the story as to how he got here because it definitely seems like he still isn't ready for it, and I really don't think he voluntarily submitted the application.
Yeah.
We heard that Pascal's kids submitted him for it.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple who did it, and they at least, I guess, are just actually had the connection. But yeah, I don't know. It just, yeah, he just was nowhere in league compared to these people. Which, like here, well, yeah.
So next, we have our last man.
Yeah, our front runner.
Chalk.
Well, the expected and front runner, not my front runner.
I think he's
just for clarification. But yeah, we have Chalk, who's in good old Wichita, Kansas.
That's right.
And he's at his friend's house, who's got a nice ranch, and
yeah, this was really nice scenery.
I mean, the event, I guess it was special, but I mean, if Chalk doesn't get picked, then I feel like this was like a terrible event to.
Oh my gosh!
Wait,
let's get into it in a little bit. So Joan opens up by saying that she had a strong connection to Chalk since the beginning of this competition, and Chalk says he can be reserved because he doesn't want to get hurt. Something we've heard time and time again. Chalk says that he missed her, and the way they're acting when they first meet each other in Kansas, it's like they're already a couple. He's like, "Oh, I just missed you so much. I couldn't wait for you to come." And they're the most like connected and the closest out of everybody. It just seemed like they were already together. Like we were just watching them together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you do see they already have a deep connection, and it looks to be quite ahead of the others, but
yeah, so they're out on that field. They sit on a bench and talk a little bit before going to the event, and Chalk mentions that Joan will meet his father and his father's wife of 25 years and his kids, Taylor and Tyler, and she's going to meet Tom, who's Kathy's father, his late fiance. And so, and then there's a lot of people at this event. And the tough thing for him right now, considering that a couple episodes ago he left for his mother's funeral, is the fact that his mom isn't there anymore, and she recently passed in the past couple of weeks. So that's what the event was all centered around, that Chalk brought her to. So tell us a little bit about this event.
yeah, I mean, it's quite the interesting one. I mean, one, because you've already had, well, I wonder how much time actually passed since he got the news and when he went away and came back that night versus now. But anyway, they're holding like a memorial service for
I think it's only
her.
been a few weeks.
I'd say
If
even
that.
less than that.
Yeah.
Probably like a week and a half. But they, yeah, so they kind of have like a cookout to start. And actually, I guess it was after, but they start with a.
Well, they start with an introduction. So
Well, yeah, I mean, they meet each other and they
it's
talk
not
to each
first
other
just
for a little
diving
bit.
into
Right,
a bunch of sad things, but
And right, she kind of gets to meet everyone, and then they have a little ceremony, and everyone kind of says a few words, and they have like a oak tree to.
symbolize his mother.
Right, yes, and then they all each take a shovel and pitch some dirt on it. And
Which was really nice and special because each family member's going up and saying something about the mother. So you see like Chuck's siblings saying things and his children, and they're getting choked up and emotional. Everybody's getting pretty emotional because this is something that just happened to you. And then when it's Chalk's turn to put the dirt on the tree, he has Joan go up with him and do it, and she comments like, wow, that was really special that I was included in that part of the ceremony. I wasn't expecting to be included in that, and that really made me feel closer.
yeah, once again, I mean, I'd almost be nervous to go up there and do it because if I don't pick you, then it's going to be really.
Yeah, and Chalk
Really
is so touched about this whole event and touched that Joan is there, and then imagine she doesn't pick him and they don't end up together, and the event that he's going to remember for the rest of his life is with someone who didn't pick him in the end.
Yeah,
That'd
that's why
be
I was like
really
even
sad.
shocking that he would even have that event with her. I don't know. I would definitely not have done that. But
He said, Joan is my rock when he started crying. He's like, I did get
Yeah.
emotional, but luckily Joan was here as my rock.
yeah. Yes. So yeah, so after that then they talk and have some food and games and
Oh,
and
I
then
do want to say that his children, when they first meet Joan, they're already making comments like, we have no doubt that she's the one, the way Dad's been talking about her and the way we see them interact. And so everybody's really just kind and gracious about the whole situation from the start.
yeah. I think I mean we almost kind of saw this with most of the families. I almost feel like everyone's but Jordan's, but
Shocker. But something else too. We see Jill, Chalk's mother's caregiver, give a speech, which, oh my gosh, that was really touching. Like she got up there and she's like, I cared for her from the very start. And you know, just seeing how much she cared about her, being her caregiver as well, was something nice to see. So they really had like everybody that was really close to her come and say a few words. Which, yeah, if you're not the solidified girlfriend and hearing all of these nice things, that's hard.
yeah.
So we see Joan with Chalk's kids, and then Joan opens up and says that she really was genuinely scared when his mom died and he left, that maybe he would have to spend a lot of time because his family's so important to him there. And then she just thought, you know, what if he doesn't come back? And I think that really shows like how connected she was to him. And that's what she says was the defining moment for her too, is how much she missed him when he was gone. And then when he came back, she was like, thank God he's back.
Well, I knew, yeah. I mean, when he mentioned she was going away, and then I wasn't really sure if he was going to come back or not. But, right, when he came back, then I knew, well, this is game over. At least not game over, but this is going to just, like, propel him leaps and bounds above everyone else. Because, yeah, they already had this connection, but I mean, having this where they've gone away and then you think you may never talk to them again, and then having it come back, it's just like this waterfall of emotion that just like overtakes you. And
Yeah, but only to someone you're really connected with too. So
yeah. I guess because I mean they were already on like a pretty good connection, and then that going away, and then with him coming back, I was like, well, yeah, this is gonna just like he's just gonna wipe the floor for the time being, which he has. But but yeah, I mean, it did help her define who she connects with the most.
Yeah, for sure. So we next see Joan talk with Kathy's father, and he was such a sweet person here. So Kathy's father says he hasn't seen Chalk this happy since being with Kathy, and Joan and him have a touching conversation, and he tells Joan, "Your family if you want to be here."
Yeah, that statement really kind of hit.
I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it weighed on her pretty heavily because that was a pretty big statement. Because it was more just, yeah, it's totally in your hands at this point.
Right.
If you want to.
Like, I can see how much he's crazy about you. This is all up to you at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
And then next we see Chalk sitting down with his father, which I thought was really nice to do. At this age, you still have your father to talk to about all these things, which is pretty awesome. So his father quickly picked up that he's in love with Joan, and he kept saying, like, I have never, ever seen you this happy. So I think he can read Chalk pretty well. But then Chalk kept saying, I'm still trying to keep on my armor and put up my defenses and everything. And the father was like, well, you just have to drop down that armor and let go. So that was his advice.
Yeah. Yeah, which good on the father because that's what I resonate with.
Yeah.
I totally understand his side.
Chalk then says he's falling in love to the camera, and then he goes up to Joan and he says, promise not to break my heart. I don't want to lose you. And he tells the camera, like, I've given her my heart. I'm all in on this. And then he tells Joan, I'm falling in love with you. So all of the things that she wanted to hear, he said them. That's what Joan said in her interview.
Yeah, which, voila, magic formula. That's just what you do in the hometowns.
Yes, but she cares a lot for him.
Yeah, I mean, yes. But yeah, I mean, she already knew she had that. I mean, that's all she was literally waiting for probably that entire time was just for him to say that.
Yeah, well, now she can just cancel the whole competition and be with him.
No. If Pascal says it, then it's game over.
We're still waiting for Pascal.
Yeah.
So he said if, in the end she doesn't feel the same way, he's going to be crushed, but giving it everything now is just worth it to him. Which I think he showed all of his cards on the table for this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he knows at this point he has to. It's getting to the final countdown, and especially if you want to make it to the next round, that's what you've got to do. I mean, that's how you play ball here. So
right. So their date's over, and now we're going into the rose ceremony. And I feel like a lot of this was just like hyped up for TV. It was like, Joan's in distress. She doesn't know what she's going to do. It's like, yes, you know what you're going to do.
yeah, she's like, I've got 2 guys who opened up. I got 2 guys who didn't open up. What am I gonna do? I thought it was only. I didn't realize it was 3 people. I thought it was only 2 people that she had to pick in the ceremony. So then I was like, oh well, duh. This is like the easiest.
The easiest thing ever. If it was 2, then.
But then when they said 3, I was like, okay, well, there's at least like maybe the slightest little bit. But I mean, it's still all roads are leading to Jordan on the chopping block. So
yeah, I feel like we were 99% confident that Jordan was going home unless they pulled some crazy zinger or something. So Joan is discussing all of this with Jesse and saying all things that we already know. She has the deepest connection with Chalk, she says. She feels comfortable with Guy. She says she had a good time with Jordan and made strides with him, and then says Pascal wants to move slowly. She's worried his heart is fragile and he won't get there in time for her. And I think all of this was just like a thing to try to make you think, oh, maybe Pascal could go home.
yeah, well, I think it's this where the producers know
It looks way too obvious. Let's get you to say something else.
it's got to. Yeah, they've got to try to add a little bit of
mystery
suspense here because it's been pretty clear cut so far.
Yep.
So it's enough to try to make maybe some people doubt their decision.
So the first rose goes to our man Chalk. The second rose
Yeah, shocker.
goes to Guy.
Which, yeah, shocker.
Well, they've been building this all up. Oh, Pascal has his walls built up. And
Yeah.
so then Pascal gets the third rose. And then it's not a shocker that Jordan's walking out. And I have to say, this walkout was like the least meaningful walkout ever.
Yeah, I did think it was a little bizarre. I mean, she walked him out, and then she just said, "Oh, time was not on our side."
And that was the only thing the two of them said. And then he just left in the car.
And they didn't even give a
Reason.
a pan of him in the car, like they did that with Mark and Jonathan.
I think
At
they were
least,
just
like, a
so ready to
perspective of
pack
their
him up
car.
and let him go. It's just like, all right. This
That, or he just said nothing, or there just was nothing worth showing.
But again, I'm just like so baffled at how he is this far in the competition with nothing. Like, wouldn't you have expected that to at least be Jonathan or somebody that had more of an emotional connection to Joan?
Yeah, I'm shocked one of the others didn't maybe get through. Cause
Weird.
I don't know. It does seem like this one really
She didn't care. He didn't care. Goodbye.
fizzled out. Yeah.
Really bad. It fizzled really quickly, too.
I don't know. Maybe some of it is that Jordan knew that he was probably like the weakest link going into this. Is my guess.
He probably just knew this whole time, I'm not going to make it past the...
Probably, because he probably had a conversation with his daughter, and his daughter was like, "Oh, I said, yeah, he may not pick you if you pick him." So he's like, "Oh, probably thanks, daughter. I'm on the chopping block now." So I mean,
But do you think, or do you think he knew the whole time, and he told his family, like, she has much deeper connections with these other people? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm sure there was probably some lack of confidence, and some of that was displayed.
But then the daughters nailed the coffin shut for sure.
Yeah.
And it was all over.
I mean, I think he may have probably known to some degree that it was going to be him. I mean, I think he already knew for sure that Chalk and Pascal were in it. I think he pretty much figured it was probably between him and Guy. That he had to beat Guy, but... And I think probably knowing, too, that he didn't really open up enough that... I mean, if he's watched other seasons of this, he probably knows that he didn't play it right, so...
Not at all.
But yeah, I mean, he did look upset.
Did he?
Yeah.
He looked to me like he was just like,
No,
can I
mean,
get on my truck?
when she
Or
first
my
said
car?
Pascal, I think they did pan over to him, and he looked upset. I mean, it wasn't like devastated, but I mean, he did look.
It's never a good
upset.
feeling to lose.
But I think
so-
he kind of knew as well, so it wasn't like a totally left field shocker for him.
Right.
So yeah, he's no more.
We then learn that next week they are going to the islands of Tahiti.
Yes, and this is what's so dumb about these things too, because I was telling you while we were watching it, I already know. I even knew like it wasn't Jordan going into it because of these dumb previews that they show at the end.
Which
And-
preview did they show? That gave
The
it
one
away.
from like episode 5, I think, or episode 4. I think it was episode 5, maybe episode 4, but because they show you the clips from the beach, right? And almost every single, at least the little snippets that you showed me of the finales, it's always on some beach.
Mm-hmm.
So when they show a beach shot in the clip, I know that's the finale. So I know when I see the person there, all right, he's made it to the final.
And you saw all three of them, and you
I'm
didn't see
pretty
Jordan.
sure. I don't know if I saw Chalk, but I do believe I remember seeing Guy and Pascal. Chalk, maybe not, but knowing that he had the biggest connection, I knew he was gonna make it. So I knew even before going into this episode that it was not Jordan, because I don't remember seeing Jordan in it.
And that stinks that gave that away.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
not 100% away, but you did think back on.
yeah, but I have
Not
like a
like,
90% confidence that I know who's making it. Even before, I mean, they even give it in the first season or the very first episode. They do a preview like that, but I mean, come on, it's like it's always the beach. You know, they're showing a beach shot, then they're showing the finale, and whoever's there, you know, that's them in the finale. So you know they make it.
Yeah.
I don't know. The previews give away way too much, in my opinion. They try to throw you off a little bit with like because they align who someone said something, but they put somebody else's face over it, so it looks like they're the ones saying it, so you get misled.
Or they show you like a middle part of a sentence without the top and bottom of it,
Right,
so then
where you
it
don't have
looks
the full context of the statement.
Right.
But yeah, but nonetheless, if you're showing me a person at the beach, then I know they're there. So,
well, yeah,
no more surprise.
no more surprise. But they're going to Tahiti, and then we see an interview with Chalk, and he's saying, Joan plus me plus Tahiti, she better accept my engagement. Like he's already like predicting that he's going to propose to her.
Yeah.
Then we see a quick clip of Pascal, and he says he wants to spend quality time with her. And then Guy says, I'm falling in love. And those are like the quick clips that we see.
Yeah.
And yeah, what'd you think of those quick clips?
I mean, yeah. I mean, at least those that, I mean, at this point, they're not, the previews are refined because they don't really.
They're already saying who gets first, second, and third. Or
well, no.
if this happens, Chalk, I'm going to propose to her. First place. Second, Guy, I'm falling in love with her. Third, Pascal, I just can't wait to have some fun with her. Like all those comments can be ranked. Or maybe that's what they want you to believe.
I think that
right?
is yes, I think that's a mislead. I do think the preview at this point didn't give that much away. I guess I'll give them that. Like, where in the other ones, when it's episode 1 and I see them on the beach, yeah, I know. But at this point, since it's only the 3 of them left, it didn't give away much. Now, I mean, they follow the same formula. Like,
well, we didn't even get into the preview. This was right before the preview played. They all said that, like in anticipation of the next week.
Well, yeah, the talking head or whatever. But
right.
I mean, Chalk's just saying that because he's just got the confidence or the cockiness to.
Because he's the only one that's progressed far enough to do an engagement at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Guy, the
okay, what
sister,
is up with Guy? All of a sudden, Guy comes like flying out of nowhere, and that's all of a sudden he's like, "Bam! I'm in love. I'm falling in love so much," and all this stuff. Yeah,
because he is remembering the formula of how to win this thing.
Yeah, but did you see them form that deep of a connection?
I mean, I think it definitely went up. Like
what, from not zesting a lemon?
It went up for
love?
sure, but I think compared to Pascal and Chalk, no, it's not enough. But I think it did go up substantially from this episode.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, the preview. I don't know. So
yeah, the previews. Let's go into that. We know it's Tahiti, and there's going to be overnight dates.
Yeah, and I mean the formula is the same though with this. Like they had the whole, all the drama where it's like Gary, and then he's like, I may walk away with no one or something, and then she does like the exact same thing. Maybe he didn't say that, but I mean he mentioned like I may break all these women's hearts or something, but
right.
Anyway, I don't know. The preview like very screamed his ending.
Well, so some things Joan said were Chalk seems too good to be true, and it hurts to think I might leave here with nobody.
Yeah.
Like trying to make you think she doesn't choose anybody at all, or something terrible happens there.
I guess she did kind of allude, even at the end of this episode, that she felt almost less confident about everyone.
Yeah, after
going
hometown.
into hometown. Yeah, which that could be a valid statement,
and maybe she doesn't pick anybody.
Well, she picks someone, but
Chalk.
I mean,
so
I don't know. I mean, the show is looking for new stuff as the person ever just not chosen anyone. That will eventually happen in one of these seasons. I guarantee it.
What?
Because the person will pick no one because they have to do that. This show's just looking for new things never happened before on Bachelor Nation or whatever he says.
I wonder if that's happened before.
If it hasn't, it will, because they'll need that to happen anyway.
So Joan also says, I know what true love is and I don't feel it with you, to somebody. So
Yeah.
who's she saying it to?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I will say this preview didn't. I don't have any more. I don't feel like I have any more insight from the preview. So
I feel like they're just trying to throw us off with a bunch of stuff. So I really don't know.
yeah, I mean, I think it go anyway at this point. I mean, I still rate Pascal number 1 because I think all he has to do is just open up. If he opens up, he'll beat Chalk.
All right, my number 1's Chalk. Your
Yeah.
number 1's Pascal. My number 2 is Pascal.
Yeah, and then I'd say Chalk and then Guy.
And Guy is my 3rd.
Yeah.
I used to think Guy might get 2nd, but I feel like she may be saying, like, I know what true love is and I don't feel it with you, to maybe Guy, who is committed to her, but she just doesn't feel that deeply for him. I feel like she
Yeah.
may be saying that to him. That's why I'm putting him in 3rd place now.
Yeah.
So, well, those are our predictions. We are excited to see what happens in Tahiti next week.
Yeah. We will find out and report back.
So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of A Fine Podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. And we will discover who Joan loves next week.
That's right. We're excited for Tahiti week, and we're excited to review that, and we will be back with you.
We'll see you then.
We'll see you then. Bye.
Ciao.
Bachelor Nation out.